Hello art kiddos. Today we are going to do a Van Gogh inspired snowy night. And hopefully this will conjure up some snow for us and we can get a snow day. I usually like to show you multiple examples to encourage you to think outside of the box and not get caught up on your artwork looking like mine or your neighbors. It is good for artwork to be diverse. How boring would it be to go to an art show and everybody's picture be the exact same thing down to every little brush stroke and color chosen? Would not be a fun art show. So it's okay to think outside of the box. It's okay for your art to be different. These are two examples. Well, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you need to do is have your name on the back of your paper. If you think that you're going to want glitter added to your picture by your teacher at the end or your facilitator who is doing the lesson today, then please put a heart on the back of your paper so that they know that glitter needs to be added. My picture has a few little marks on it. I am an art teacher, so we're going to roll with it. I don't like to waste materials. All right, everybody should have a pencil. You want to draw lightly, so if you do want to change a line up, that you can erase it. All right, on the bottom of your paper, everybody should have a starter line that kind of looks like this. What I want you to do is draw a line in the middle. Notice when I draw, I'm not trying to draw my line in one foul swoop. I'm picking my pencil up. You can see my mark making here, and I'm working my way down my paper. And then what I want to do is try and draw the same height line on the left. You can kind of line it up there if you want to. On the left and on the right. Also, pay attention to how much space I've got left up here at the top. So you don't want a ton of empty space. An artist would refer to that as negative space. So you want to make sure that you've got about that amount at the top of your paper. In between these three lines, you're going to do a shorter tree in the middle. And again, you're striving for them to be of equal height. Notice how I've got this little line out over here. Art's not about being perfect. I'm not worried about it. Now what we're going to do after that is on the top of each tree, we're going to do an upside down V, and it makes these all look like arrows. And again, my lines are not perfect. Now we're going to continue with that theme down our tree, so we're just going to go in and add some arrows. You can see they're all about the same size. If anything, you want them a little bigger at the bottom because trees normally like this get bigger at the base and smaller at the top. If at any point you need the video stopped so that you can get caught up, then please raise your hand and ask your teacher. But do not be worried about perfection. So we should all have our trees and all have these upside down V's that are going up and down each one. And now what we're going to do is we are going to add a moon, and we're going to make it look windy and like there's lots of movement going on. So we are going to draw a circle. Notice when I draw my circle, I work my way around that shape. If you're like, oh, I don't like my circle, it doesn't look good, then hey, let's just erase part of it. Now we've got the letter C, and then we can thicken that up, and now we have a half moon. Art is all about problem solving. Now what we want to do is draw spirals with tails. What is a spiral with a tail? Y'all can notice I've spilt some water on my table here. It will all be okay though. A spiral with a tail is just that. You're going to draw a spiral and you're going to add a tail. You're going to draw a spiral and you're going to add a tail. You're going to draw a spiral. you're going to add a tail. And guess what? You can add, as few or as many as you want. I'm going to add a couple of more. And this is making it look windy. And I can add a few more down here in between my trees. So we've got spirals with tails. And now what we want to do is add some curved lines around those to make it further look like there's movement. So what I'm going to do is go in and I'm going to do lines that are curved and broken around all of my spirals with tails. I can even add some around my moon. And I can add some over here. I can add some over here, but we want them to be curved. We want it to look like they're moving. So we've got our lines that show that they are moving. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to color. So after you've got everything drawn, you should have some crayons at your table. I'm going to take yellow and I'm going to color my moon in, and I'm also going to put some little yellow stars in the background of my paper. And I'm coloring pretty hard because when we add our watercolor, it's going to resist against this wax crayon that we're putting down, and it'll look really good. I think I'm going to take a little orange and mix in with my moon. And I'm going to outline those lines that are radiating away from it in yellow, and I may add a little orange in there too. You never want to color anything one color. That makes it look flat, and we don't want flat colors. I'm going to go ahead and add some of that orange in my sky. And then I'm going to pick some different blues that I like. And all of the wind that we saw in the sky, I want to start outlining it. So I'm going to go over all of those lines. And I think I'm going to switch it up. I'll do some in this color, and I want to kind of space out with one color so it's balanced. So I'm going to add a little of that color throughout, and then I will switch. And I'm going to go in and add some of this other color. I'm pressing pretty hard because when I add the watercolor, if I haven't pressed really hard and have a good concentrated color on there, it's not going to do what I want it to do. And again, I'm making whatever color I use, I'm bouncing it around my picture. Okay. And I think just because I want to, I'm going to get some purple because that's a cool color like blue. I'm going to add some of that in there. Again, I'm bouncing it around my paper. All right. When you get done with that, we're going to move on to our greens. So I would start out with a dark green, and you're going to color like this. Ooh, look at that. I colored so hard, I bent my crayon. All right, you're going to color back and forth in the V motion from the top down on each tree. And then you're going to go back once you do each tree, and you'll add at least 2 more green colors. So you're going to do that on each tree. So we want to have 3 different values of green. And notice I'm leaving some open space because I want some room to put those other green colors that I like in there. Everybody should be working on coloring right now. And once you get finished mixing all these different colors together, we are going to add some watercolor in there. You can see I'm mixing and I'm coloring in the letter V shape. So that's very important. We don't have a bush, we've got these trees. Kind of look like evergreen trees, I guess. Okay, I could mix some yellow instead of green this time, and I think I'm going to do that just because I want to. So I'm going to take some yellow mix in. And whatever I do to one, I have to do to all. So y'all's little hands may be hurting by the end here. We're really working today. And my table at home, as y'all can tell, is full of paint and very textured. So your crayon should lay nicer on your paper than what mine is doing right now. Right, and I think I'll add one more color in here. I like this color. So I'm going to add little hints of that. And again, whatever you do to one, you must do to all. Okay. So once you get finished with all of that, what you're going to do is take your watercolor set and we're going to paint some blue in the background. So you're going to get water on your brush and you're going to grab some blue paint and you're just going to start to paint. And look at how the crayon resists and the colors stay in place, and then we can add all of our blue in the background. So right now we're not painting the trees, we are just painting the background. You can see how some areas are a little darker than others. If you use more water, it is a lighter color blue. If you want it more concentrated, you don't use quite as much water, and it will be a darker blue. Alright, now let's pretend that I finished all of this side for demonstration purposes since Miss Jenny's blue is sadly all gone. I'm going to fold my picture in half and I'm going to finish demonstrating on just half of my picture. So once you get your sky filled in, you're going to go in with green. Remember, it's watercolor, so you should be picking up water, not actual chunks of paint. So it should be watery. And I'm going to paint on top of this. Notice how the crayon wax resist method is working. It's kind of a textural, how pretty. And I'm going to do that to each one. You don't want to paint away everything, so I got a little thick there. You want for everything to interact and have this nice layering effect. Look how textured that is and how rich. That is awesome. So I'm not painting over every little section. So I'm going to hold that up. You can see how really cool that looks. So it's resisting the paint, and we will set that aside and either let it dry on its own and come back and finish the other after lunch or recess, or you can dry it with the hair dryer and we'll go back in. And the last step is adding some acrylic paint. So your facilitator will come around and give everybody a little dab of white paint, or they may call you back to a table and do this part with you one-on-one. Everybody's a little different. Most people are not putting paint on their table, but I do because it's my art studio. And what you're going to do is take a little paint after it's completely dry, and we will add some snow to our picture. So I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to demonstrate on this piece because it's dry. So all that you're going to do is take some white paint and a pointy brush, and you will dab some white paint in the sky wherever it is that you want it. And then you can dab a little here and there on your trees. You still want to be able to see the trees, so you're not covering completely. And if you wanted glitter, you should have put a heart on the back of your picture, and the facilitator or teacher will add some little glitter stars in there and a little glitter around the moon for you. You can see I'm painting in that V motion, so if it's on this side, my snow is going like this. If it's on this side, it's going in the opposite direction. And we're talking about, I know a lot of people are going to watch these videos from different locations. In case the accent didn't give it away, we live in Tennessee. So when we get snow, it's never covering the trees completely. It looks more like this. It's more of a dusting. But wherever you live, even if you get a lot of snow, the trees on your picture are beautiful, and you don't want to paint them away completely white. So you're just doing a nice little dusting on your trees. Now this should be a little more dry, so I will demonstrate a little on it so you can see what that looks like. So it's still not dry all the way, maybe down here, so you can see what that looks like on this one. So super fun! I cannot wait to see what all of your pieces look like. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Check out Vincent van Gogh's artwork. He did a lot of portraits, a lot of portraits of himself. He did a lot of paintings outside, and he is known for all of these textural elements, the thick applications of paint, and all this movement. I would say Starry Night is definitely one of his most famous works. So y'all check his work out. Y'all have a wonderful and a blessed day, and we will see you the next time.